welcome back to the High Speed Snail Channel. I apologize for not having videos out this past week on Sunday and Wednesday, but there was a convergence of various factors going on. One, you may still hear a bit of gravelly voice that I have, is that I had a bout of bronchitis, and it was really much of a challenge for me to speak at the point. Two, there's construction going on nearby. A century-old complex is being demolished, and they found several utility services that they had not expected, one of which was the telephone system. So I was without internet for about 3 days. And the third one is my computer threw a hissy fit. That's always wonderful when something goes wrong, especially when you need it. It is not back to perfect yet, but it's functional, so there we go. So, today we're talking about, anyway, this is another Tales from the Roundhouse. I'm sorry, I'm a little under the weather yet still. There's another Tales from the Roundhouse. And at this episode, we have a question about prices. Everybody's noticed that prices keep going up and up and up. And I would like to discuss how that affects the hobby of railroad museums, tourist attractions, and generally getting into working on and with trains. There are various concepts that are out there, and I'm going to discuss the ones I can think of at the moment. So, buckle up, and it's going to be interesting. Naturally, any of this information is just from what I've gleaned myself. Opinions are just of my own, and take of it what you will. But I've been in this, business hobby, whatever you want to call it, for, about 40 years now, actually. And so I've seen a lot of things happen in that amount of time, and I've done a lot myself. I've worked with a myriad of other groups, not just within the steam concept, whether it be steam and gas shows, narrow gauge railroads, standard gauge museums, even a builder or two. So there's various aspects to each that have to be addressed. So we're going to go through them one by one and just take a look at what was then and what is now. Starting off with, like I was saying, a then and now. Well, now it's 2026. The season is just going to be getting started in a couple of weeks now. So what are the current prices as compared to historic ones? Now, I happen to have a steam railroading directory handy. Let's see what this one actually is. It is the Steam Passenger Service Directory from 1988, the 23rd annual edition. I happen to have it handy because this topic actually came up in response to something else entirely. So let's take a look at some railroads that are famous from around the world, around the United States. They are famous around the world, but first of all, let's look at the California State Railroad Museum. Now, they offer a small back and forth along the old Sacramento riverfront. The current price is $18 for adults and $10 for what they call youth. And that includes access to the museum itself, as well as a train ride. In 1988, it was $3 for adults and $1 for youth. We have the Georgetown Loop Railroad in Colorado. Current prices are for the hour-and-a-half trip is $36 for an adult, $29 for a child. And in 1988, it was $8.50 for an adult and $4.50 for a youth. I think it was under 12 were free. Illinois Railroad Museum, everybody's heard of them, especially their famous Department of the Body Snatchers. That'll be a story for another time. But the current price is for the museum and unlimited train rides. It is $18 for an adult, $16 for a senior citizen, which is 65 and older, and $14 for a child. In 1988, there was just two prices. There was adults for $5 and children for $2.50. We have the Hocking Valley in Nelsonville, Ohio. The current price for a standard train ride is $30 for an adult, $21 for a child. And in 1988, it was $9 for an adult and $6 for a child for the same route. Now, various museums have changed their routing, or there was additional services available either now or previously. So I'm comparing apples to apples. This is not, looking at, they changed their program, they changed their system, anything like that. Everybody's heard of the East Broad Top in Pennsylvania. The Current price is $30 for an adult, $20 for a child, and in 1988 it was $5 for an adult and $2.50 for a child. And for those people in the Midwest, everybody's probably heard of this, the Great Circus Parade and the circus train that was provided for it by the Mid-Continent Railway Museum in North Freedom, Wisconsin. Current price is $24 for an adult, $22 for a senior citizen, and $13 for a child. In 1988, it was $6 for an adult, $5 for a senior citizen, and $3 for a child. Now, child were 2 to 12. So there's a great disparity of prices between then and now, and I actually remember the then very, very well because I've been around for a while. So what accounts for all this? Well, prices for everything have gone up because that's the nature of reality, especially when you're operating with fiat currency. That's a different discussion. But insurance goes up, the cost of maintenance goes up, just the employees go up. And you're saying, well, most of these are volunteer organizations. Yes, but you still have to have employees to make sure that somebody is there to watch the volunteers, or in case the volunteer doesn't show up. So there's that factor. As far as anything else goes, the coal prices go up, the insurance prices go up, property taxes go up, everything goes up. So there's going to be some increase in the amount. And what spawned this conversation really was I was talking with a gentleman at a steam and gas club, and they had their annual meeting recently, and people were talking about, well, raising the gate price. They hadn't raised their gate price since about 1995, 1998 or so, somewhere in there. And the reason why they didn't raise their gate price is they're not losing any money. They want to be able to include as many people as possible, have as many people come through the gate as possible. And one gentleman at the annual meeting explained it this way. For their gate price is $10 for an adult. An adult is anyone over the age of 13. So for a husband and wife and their 2 adult children, that's $40. So if they raised it to $15, you might have the man and maybe one of the child. So that's $30 rather than $40. The wife and the other child are going to go to the water park up the way, or they're going to go shopping. They're not going to hang around and pick their nose and look at old tractors because that's not their thing. That's dad's thing. And so chances are you're going to only get $15 rather than $40, maybe $30 if you're lucky. And so that's a factor that goes into this stuff. So they resolved that, okay, we're going to leave our gate prices the same as they've always been because, well, welcome to reality. We're actually making money. We're not losing any money. Everything's already paid for, et cetera, et cetera. So that has to be a consideration. And in the next section, I'm going to start going into the considerations about why prices are chosen how they are, and several of the various philosophies that are going to be in play either individually or collectively in determining what a ticket price is going to be. See you in the next part, folks.